Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Tori, and today we are finally going to talk about Rurouni Kenshin, the beginning, the live action version of Trust and Betrayal. I know that you guys have been waiting for my reviews of these movies. I am going to do the beginning today. I am going to do a video on the final very soon because I have a lot of things to say about that one too. I have now seen all of the movies, all of the live action movies that have come out on Kenshin. So many things. So today we're going to talk a little bit about different parts of the movie, the characters, the atmosphere, all of that, how it compares to the original anime. Trust and Betrayal is the prequel to the Kenshin series. It shows the story of how Kenshin became Batosai the Manslayer before he hung up his sword and before he took on his oath not to kill anymore, who he was as Kenshin the Assassin. It's incredibly powerful. Those 4 episodes are one of the most beautiful masterpieces of an anime I have ever seen in my life. So I won't lie, I procrastinated watching the beginning for a while because you know how that is. You have this thing that you absolutely love and then somebody says, hey, I'm gonna do a live action of it, and the first response usually is, do you have to? I was emotionally wrecked for days after I finished watching Trust and Betrayal. That honestly is the sign of the best storytelling that impacts us, that we almost leave a part of ourselves behind in the story with the characters, and a part of it comes along with us for the rest of our lives. So without further ado, I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on the movie and the characters and everything about the beginning, so let's go. Okay, the first thing that I want to bring up is actually a comment that one of my viewers made on my original Kenshin video, I think, and that was just that there weren't a lot of lines, and this particular person didn't like that. I will say that that is a very astute comment, and after I read it, I actually started paying more attention to that in the films and realized that this is the final and the beginning especially are very light on the dialogue. And I personally found that to be incredibly impactful, because when you pull back on all of the talking and the dialogue and all of this stuff, you really pull the viewer in and make them pay attention to what isn't being said. The body language, the sounds, the facial expressions, all of those things become heightened, which is something that I think is super powerful in a story like this. The whole atmosphere of the movie was just beautiful. The color palette in the original anime is absolutely stunning, and I really feel like they did a good job translating that into the movie version. The color palette was very dark. Another thing that I think is really important to mention about this, just like the dialogue was a lot more muted and quiet, the soundtrack. This is a very understated soundtrack. I actually went back and listened to the soundtrack after watching the movie, and I was blown away by how beautiful the songs were. And it wasn't that they weren't in the movie and that I didn't notice them completely, but they were really subdued. And I actually love that, because I feel like the whole movie, it was so quiet. It really felt like they were driving all of our attention and all of our emotional and visual experience to Kenshin and Tomoe, and that to me was the best thing they possibly could have done to honor the story and the characters, because that's how it feels in the anime. It's very intimate. It's a very intimate story. It's a very close in emotional look at who these characters are, what they're dealing with, and how they're trying to struggle through the lives that they're leading. One of the things that I think kind of added to this, and it was kind of a small thing that I really noticed throughout the story that added a lot to that kind of detachment idea, was the fact that Kenshin's face was obscured through most of this movie, either by the camera angle where it was more, kind of down into the side, or his hair was more in front of his eyes. There was a lot of obscuring of Kenshin, which I thought was another brilliant choice by the director. The actress that they had playing Tomoe, Kasumi Aramura, she just has this wonderful kind of unearthly beauty to her that was something that I felt like really defined Tomoe also in the anime version. And it's not just in her look, it's also in the way she talks, the way she acts. And I have to give Kasumi a lot of credit for this because I feel like she really pulled that unearthly kind of detached facade off so well. And even in the point of the film where she finally admits that she's in love with Kenshin, and they you know, they have that beautiful moment that they pulled directly from the anime where they're talking and they're wrapped in the blanket together. We see the tiniest hint of humanity from both of them. Takeru, who plays Kenshin, and Kasumi, who plays Tomoe, both just did a fantastic job of showing how much they've had to suppress themselves in order to survive. Along with that, as long as we're talking about the other characters in the film, I found the other characters to be incredibly understated as well. And that was actually something that I appreciated in this movie, because even Saito was very understated in this film. We know him, we're familiar with him, he's been in the other movies. I think the director really wanted all of the focus to really be pushed toward Kenshin and Tomoe. We're really driven towards what this situation is doing to these two characters and how it has torn them down as human beings and how they're desperately searching for that shred of humanity in the other. There's an absolutely fantastic scene in this movie where Kenshin and Tomoe are living at their safe house and they're gardening together, and Kenshin pulls this vegetable out of the ground and he has an actual genuine smile. Now, this is an incredibly impactful moment, and again, just shows how well the director understood the character and how little is actually needed to really get that emotional impact, because I realized that that's literally the only time in the movie that Kenshin just has this total smile on his face. And in the beginning, you know, when he's first drafted into the rebellion, he kind of smiles a little bit while he's drinking with the guys, but there's really not a moment of just lighthearted levity until we see him in his garden with his vegetables that he's growing and this pride in something that he's done with his own two hands. My husband Ben, while we were watching this movie, he goes, you know, happiness is just growing your potatoes and being left alone. And I really appreciate through this entire series how much the director and the staff really understood the characters, really brought those characters to life in a live action without making them caricatures. It's so easy to see an anime character brought into live action and have them be completely caricatured and just almost ridiculous, because it's such a specific art form and it works so well in anime. It's really hard to translate that into live action, and I really have to commend the creators of this series and also the actors for really taking these roles very seriously and being able to bring the heart out in those characters that made us all fall in love with Kenshin and Tomoe and all of the other characters in the first place. I really hope that they actually continue with some other series as well and trying to make more anime into live action, because if anybody should be doing it, it's these guys. Like, I don't expect, when I watch a live action from an anime, I don't expect it to be the same. But they did such a good job of honoring the original story, the characters. Takeru put in so much work to play Kenshin, and I feel like he really did a great job embodying all of the different duality and layers of Kenshin. I'm really curious, since you guys have been asking for my review of this, I am really curious to know what you guys all thought in the comments. I know that this anime is incredibly well loved by a lot of people, so I would love your opinions in the comments. And I know that there are a lot of people that really struggle with the fact that they don't feel like this matched the anime at all, and I do understand that. I do think this is about as close as it's gonna get, to be perfectly honest with you. When you're taking a art form like anime and you're switching it into an art form like live action, there's just, you can't have, like, it's gonna be different. There are gonna be things that will change between the mediums, and I think expecting it to be the exact same when your expectations of it are so high, especially when we have something so nostalgic tied to it. For a lot of us, we grew up with it in childhood, so it's like a really major part of growing up. I was just blown away by how close this was to the original, and I felt like they did a really, really good job. So that is my review for Rurouni Kenshin, the beginning. I will be doing another one for Rurouni Kenshin, the final, because whoa, do I have a lot to say about that. If you've seen it, you know. There's some things we need to talk about, and I have a lot to say. So, I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love your comments down in the comment section about your opinions of the beginning and the Kenshin series as a whole. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a great week, and I'll see you in the next video.